Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to Chazzy, the segment on this channel where I review the many TV shows that I watch over the years, whether they're regular television shows or, docu-series, I do everything here, all kinds of genres. And today's review is going to be the third in this sort of specific sub-series within this series of mine, where I'm going to be talking about, this sort of franchise, let's say, which is All or Nothing, which covers a whole lot of different sports teams, taking the viewers through an entire season with the team, I have already done Manchester City, in soccer, and I have done the Toronto Maple Leafs in hockey, and today I'm going to be doing my first football related All or Nothing, which is All or Nothing Arizona Cardinals, which is officially called a season with the Arizona Cardinals. And this one is interesting because it was actually the very first one in the All or Nothing series, the first entry that launched this entire series, and it was released back in 2016, but it covered the Arizona Cardinals season back in 2015, right? And that was actually a very interesting season for the Cardinals because it was their 96th season in the NFL, their 117th season overall in their franchise history, their 28th season as the Cardinals, their 28th season in Arizona, specifically after they relocated, and it was also their 10th season, playing at the University of Phoenix Stadium, and it was also their third season under head coach Bruce Arians, Arians, I forgot how to pronounce his name. It's been a while since I've seen this show, by the way, it's been like maybe a year or more, so it was the first one that I watched, in football. There are a few other ones that I might be reviewing later on down the road, but basically what happens here is that we see the entirety of the operations, the behind the scenes, throughout the sports season of a team. It's really cool to see the dynamics between the players, the management, we see a lot of the upper class of the actual football franchise. So we see the GMs, the owners, the president, everybody talking to each other and showing how they make the cogs work, behind the scenes, a lot of things that we fans normally wouldn't see. And in this particular season, the Cardinals actually did pretty well. They managed to clinch their first NFC West title since 2009, and they went on to amass their first 13-win season in franchise history. Overall they went 13-3, and they also made it to the divisional playoffs. And also quite a few of their players were Pro Bowlers. And it was actually really interesting to see, how these players, how they evolve, how they work through injuries, and how the psychological aspect affects them on the field. That's why I love watching these All or Nothing series, man. I know it's awesome, especially for a sports nut like myself. So this one here was really something special. It was the first one, so a lot of people, it was like a lot of viewers were introduced to the format, showing all of the exclusive footage. I thought it was really cool, and showing specific players overcoming certain obstacles, on and off the field was just amazing, and showing how the head coach was really struggling to get the team underway because Bruce had been, dismissed quite a few times at that point, but I like him. He's a good coach. And before I continue and break down each episode one by one, let's take a look at a clip here from this series.
Don't be afraid to grab it tonight, huh?
I'm not sure what to make. Are the Cardinals a great team that can't finish?
You play like us, we get going, this game's over.
Or are they just an average team?
We gonna turn up and rock plenty ice. This is our time. Yeah, I'm about that life.
Now, this docu-series here is an Amazon Prime original, so you can stream it on Prime Video right now. It's still available. That's where I watched it. There are 8 episodes in total, and each one is usually around like 50 to 60 minutes long. They do get pretty extended, but dude, it's so much fun if you're into football. I wasn't even that big of a football fan when I started watching, but I still really liked it, so I'm really anxious to watch season 2, which is a season with the Los Angeles Rams. But anyway, in real life, outside of the docu-series, this would be the first time, or rather, let me rephrase that. It wouldn't be until 2021 that the Cardinals had another winning season or a postseason appearance, Now, the thing is that it's been a very long time since I've watched this show, this series, so I have a little cheat sheet here to break down every episode for you guys. I literally have, not even exaggerating, I don't know if I can show it to you guys here. I literally have the Amazon Prime synopsis open up here, with the episodes. Each one has a little bit of a description, so I'm gonna try to read a little bit of that for you guys. franchise. Now, essentially what happens is that in the first season, you know, they already have a mission to win the Super Bowl, but unfortunately their quarterback Carson Palmer is injured, you know, his knee kind of gives out. So we do see a lot of the recuperation process, the healing process, you know, and how it affects his home life. We see him at home with his wife and kids, you know, and it starts to show us that athletes are people just like us. They do have thoughts and feelings and emotions, you know, they do go through turmoil. So for a quarterback to be out of work is really dangerous, you know, because he can get replaced at a moment's notice. So it's really good to see his relationship with his teammates and general management as well, you know, and there's also, we see the dynamics between him and Larry Fitzgerald, who's a veteran running back, you know, who is on the verge of breaking a few records. Episode 2, you know, they start showing adversity when they call for some reinforcements. You know, they take a road trip to a mountain resort to visit, you know, the Pittsburgh Steelers, which was the former team that Coach Aaron had taken over, you know. He was actually dismissed for a few different reasons, and it's really nice to see Bruce, you know, kind of re-emerging as a successful coach, you know, with the Cardinals as it goes on. Episode 3 takes us now to the middle of the season, you know, it's called the Penthouse, you know, where now they have a few different players coming in. We have the safety Tyrann Mathieu, you know, and also the Cardinals have their eyes on a team that they really have to beat, which is the two-time defending NFC champion, the Seattle Seahawks. You know, it's always good when they show us a game happening because it takes us through the entire system, you know, like the pre-game, the actual game, the post-game. It shows the players in the locker room, you know. This is what I really enjoy about these documentaries, because it shows us inside the locker rooms, man. The players with their personal items, you know, and all their uniforms and getting ready, putting on their stuff, you know, and their little pep talk. It shows when a player gets injured or ejected, he's in the locker room, you know, just feeling all those raw emotions. It is awesome, man, and I love it so much. And then we have episode 4, you know, where a cornerback prepares for a life change, you know. Then eventually Carson, you know, who's still, at this point, he's already come back from injury. He actually meets his former team, you know, the Cincinnati Bengals, and they actually sort of they call upon this old rival to help them defeat the team. You know, it's actually really tough to navigate through the NFC West back then, you know. In 2015, the NFC West was tough, man, a lot of competition. Then episode 5, we're already in December, you know. We have a rookie now, David Johnson. We go through the dynamics that he is experiencing with the team for the first time, you know. They're trying to have a nice regular string of good games, you know, a lot of healthy players, and try to amass a few wins. So it's actually really cool. But December is the cruelest month in the NFL, and it can change in a heartbeat. You know, you never know what's going to happen. Episode 6, you know, it's actually called Endings and Beginnings. It takes us through this whirlwind of emotions with the players, you know, because Tyrann Mathieu actually, I forgot what exactly happened. I think he either gets traded or he gets injured, but they do face that loss there, you know. Then in this episode, they face the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks, you know, because they visit Arizona, so the Cardinals can play their home games, you know. Episode 7, you know, the second to last one is a whole new season where they start the next round. You know, they actually they host one of the wildest wild card playoff games, you know. Aaron Rodgers, you know, leading the Packers, they come back to the desert, you know, seeking revenge after the Week 16 blowout that they suffered. So Aaron Rodgers, I'm not going to give any spoilers, you know, but Aaron Rodgers, man, well, let's just say it was a very intense episode, you know. And episode 8 is the last one. It's 48 minutes long, where it's actually called All or Nothing, the name of the series, you know. And they actually have a trip to the Super Bowl on the line now, and they go to Carolina to face the Panthers and Cam Newton for the NFC Championship game. And I do not remember if they win or lose, but still, they did manage to finish first in the NFC West, you know, so I guess maybe they did, you know. It was really nice to see the players running around, you know, and doing their positions, invoking their skills, you know. Each episode is a journey, man. It is a journey, you know, especially towards the end of the season in December, because it gets really rough at the end of the year. Now, before I continue and talk a little bit more about the series as a whole, let's take a look at another clip here.
Saturday, all families are invited, and the kids really enjoy it.
Loser wears the picked out outfit by the winners.
What up? Lost my bet.
There's an injured Cardinal at the 40-yard line.
This is a moment where it transcends the game.
You know, I just remembered something. That 2015 NFC Championship game, you know, that the last episode covers, was actually a rematch of the 2008 divisional round, you know, where the Cardinals, you know, defeated the Carolina Panthers, you know, in their home stadium. And just a random detail that I remembered, you know. But anyway, so this series here had a total of 4 different directors. I think I'm going to put all 4 of their names up on screen at once, you know. It was Julia Harmon, Jay Jackson, Shannon Furman, and Steve Trout, you know. 2 men, 2 women, that probably means something, but probably not. It's just a random fun fact, you know. Now, what I most enjoy about these docuseries, you know, the All or Nothing series, is how it shows us the day-to-day activities, the routines, you know, the practices of all of the players and coaches. Because football, the NFL, right, is a little bit more complex than, you know, soccer, association soccer. There are a few All or Nothings that deal with other teams like Manchester City, Tottenham Hotspur, and Arsenal, the Brazil national team, and others. You know, I've watched all of them, but soccer is a much simpler sport than football, you know. Same thing with hockey. I think even hockey was easier to follow than football, but then again, I was still an up-and-coming fan of the NFL when I watched the Arizona Cardinals season, you know. So I actually thought it was really nice how it shows all of the different dynamics, because everything about the All or Nothing series just screams genuine and authenticness, because everything is real. It's completely unscripted. It's like a reality TV show, but with the athletes, you know, and the sports that they play. So I think it's really nice how they allow us to go into their homes and see what their home style is, what their lifestyle is like, you know. It shows the relationship with their fans and how every single game, every single moment, every single play, you know, affects them. Every single touchdown that they either convert or concede, it shows them, you know. It's crazy, man. We see the euphoria when the team wins, you know. We see the joy in the players' faces, and we see the utter sorrow when they lose, you know. It's so crazy to see this side of the coin. Like, sometimes we're going to watch a football game like a Super Bowl. We're going to see a team win and celebrate in the cameras, the interviews, you know, the post-game analysis will always focus on them, but it's really rare to see, you know, the side of the other team, you know. So when the Cardinals lose a game, it really shakes up the players, you know, and it's so cool to see that, in my opinion. I thought it was awesome, you know. I personally think it's really cool, and you know, each one of these series builds up on itself, you know. It seems like they just get better and better and better. This was the first one, and if you watch this first All or Nothing series here and then watch the most current one, which I think is Arsenal, you're gonna see a very good difference in the pacing, the cinematography, the shooting, the editing, you know. Everything just evolves, just like the sports that they represent, you know. I thought it was really awesome, and showing how the coaches prepare their players, you know, the drills that they run, you know, the blitz packages, and showing how they actually interact with their coaches, their defensive coordinators, the assistants, you know, seeing the players actually watching game footage in the room. It's crazy, man. You know, things that you would normally see in career mode in Madden, face of the franchise, it actually shows it in real life. The meetings, you know, it's so freaking cool, man. Every single detail is just perfect, you know, right down to the players, you know, reacting to things and talking to each other, making jokes, you know. They have these little bouts when they're in practice, where they try to, like for example, they put a trash can really far away and the quarterback tries to throw the ball in there. You know, they have like these little friendly competitions. I think it's awesome. It's really cool. Showing the players training and practicing in their actual, you know, little ambience there, I think is really awesome. It's the kind of thing that us fans live for, you know, to be there and seeing the players actually working out and stuff. I did that once for my soccer team here in Brazil, Fluminense, and it was great, man. It was great. So this kind of docu-series is right up my alley. Now, let's take a look at another clip here before I continue possibly to the final stretch of this review.
During the offseason, Chris Johnson was shot in the shoulder.
You see it? It was real tough coming back from that.
Played at a high level for a long time, and I get in and he's like, you're gonna move inside.
I told you weren't real happy about that.
It wasn't like a discussion.
This team is rolling and hopeful of winning the first Super Bowl.
We ain't yet.
There were a few franchise records, you know, as well as individual player records, like most notably those 13 wins that the Cardinals amassed in that season. 14, if you include the playoffs, were actually the most wins in a regular season in franchise history, and they also managed to score the most points in a regular season with 489 points scored, which gave them a very impressive average of 30.6 points per game, man, which is freaking crazy, you know. I'm starting to notice that I say freaking crazy very often, you know, in these videos. I have certain catchphrases that I only notice after I edit the videos, you know, but I don't know, man. I just, it's my American English, it comes out naturally, you know, but still, man, it was a very impressive season by the Cardinals, and I think that it would be interesting to do a follow-up, you know, talk about their 2021 one season, but I can understand that it would get stale if they did this, you know, multiple times for a team. But there are 5 different all or nothings, you know, in the NFL for 5 different teams. You know, if I'm not mistaken, I actually have the cheat sheet here. Starting in 2016, they went and they did an entire season with the Cardinals, then the Rams in 2017, the Cowboys in 2018, the Panthers in 2019, and the Eagles in 2020. They also did college football, the Michigan Wolverines in 2018. I'm gonna watch all of them. I'm not gonna review them all in one sitting. Every time I come here to play Madden or do something related to football, I might review one of these, you know. My objective is to get through all of them, but the problem is that it's all the same, right? I review one, I review all of them because I pretty much talk about the same things, but still, I think it's really awesome, you know. Everything about this series here, but the unique thing about doing this versus the hockey and the soccer one, you know, with the Maple Leafs and Manchester City, is that it's a whole different sport, man. And football gets really complex, you know. Because I wasn't such a big fan of the NFL yet, it was really confusing, but it was still very enjoyable. So imagine now when I watch the next one, you know, being an avid lover of football, you know, doing a lot of videos here on my channel, tweeting about it. I think it's gonna be awesome, you know. And I'm really looking forward to seeing when you know, Amazon Studios are going to grab my team to do this, you know. Imagine a season with the Miami Dolphins. That'd be awesome, man. But it's probably unlikely because the last one was in 2020, but it's probably because of COVID, you know, that's probably why they stopped. But I would love to see the Dolphins, you know. Maybe they're doing it this season and we just don't know. But anyway, regarding All or Nothing, a season with the Arizona Cardinals, I give this entry a solid 10 out of 10. I love it so much, you know. I'm pretty much gonna give all of these 10 out of 10s, you know, unless there's something that sucks, you know, something that's inherently unwatchable, but that's not the case, you know. Showing how everything comes together, you know, how the players all click, they get to know each other, sometimes they hang out, you know, after practice or after a game, and you know, it's crazy, man, you know. The quarterback, the running back, you know, some of them were breaking records and showing the other players coming together to celebrate it with them. It's amazing. It's everything on and off the field. That's what this docu-series covers, and that's why I love them all so much. Everything just comes together to create this amazing viewing experience, man. It's just superb, you know. And there I go again, saying you know. I know that I say that all the time, you know. I can't help it, man. It's my vocabulary, it's my grammar, you know. Maybe I can turn it into an indirect catchphrase or something. But still, if you've never watched any of the All or Nothings, but you happen to be a fan of the NFL, go ahead and start with this one. Watch them in chronological order because it makes more sense that way, you know. Maybe you're gonna see some callbacks to other teams, other games, and other of these series, you know. That's why I'm really excited to start the Los Angeles Rams one. It's gonna be really cool. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm sorry if this came out a little butchered or rushed. It's because I haven't watched this in a long time and I just wanted to pull a little bit from the cheat sheet, give you guys some better stuff, you know. But, you know, the relationship that the president has with the other board of directors, it's really cool. The political side is also interesting because you get to see how the upperclassmen pull the string, you know, the big guys. So they are what make the franchise actually tick and go forward. But of course, my favorite part is seeing the players, the on-field action, and it's all good. I'm gonna go because this is becoming pretty long already. If you guys happen to enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a like and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too so I can know exactly what time I upload. And it's all good, man. It's all good. Another really cool fun fact is seeing the players driving fancy cars and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Anyway, this is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.
If you believe we can, we can. If you think we will, we will. It don't matter what they do. Only thing that concerns me is what we do.